The throne room stretched endlessly before Captain Emily Rodriguez, its crystalline walls pulsing with ethereal blue light that seemed to emanate from the very atoms of the structure. Her combat boots echoed against the polished floor as she approached the elevated platform where the alien princess sat, her elongated form draped in flowing robes that shifted colors like liquid starlight. Emily's rifle hung at her side, its weight familiar after 3 years of interstellar warfare. The Terran coalition had sent her here as part of the diplomatic envoy, though everyone knew the real purpose was to gauge the alien empire's military capabilities. The war between humans and the Celestial Dominion had raged across 12 star systems, leaving countless worlds scarred and millions dead on both sides. The princess rose from her throne, standing nearly 8 feet tall with limbs that moved, with an otherworldly grace. Her skin held a pale luminescence, and her large eyes reflected the ambient light like pools of liquid mercury. Most humans found the aliens unsettling to look at, but Emily had grown accustomed to their appearance during her time as a prisoner of war on their mining colonies. "Captain Rodriguez of the Terran Coalition," the princess spoke, her voice carrying melodic undertones that seemed to resonate in the air itself. "You have traveled far from your home world." Emily snapped to attention, offering the formal salute required by diplomatic protocol. "Your Highness, I come bearing terms for a potential ceasefire between our peoples." The princess descended the steps slowly, her robes trailing behind her like liquid shadow. As she drew closer, Emily noticed something peculiar about her movements. There was a slight hesitation in her left leg, a barely perceptible limp that reminded her of someone from long ago. "Tell me, Captain," the princess said, now standing only a few feet away. "Do you remember the forests of New Haven Colony?" Emily's breath caught in her throat. New Haven had been her childhood home, a terraformed world on the edge of human space that had been evacuated 15 years ago when the first alien scouts appeared. She had been just 13 when the evacuation ships arrived, forcing her family to abandon everything they had built. "I lived there once," Emily replied carefully. Uncertain where this conversation was leading, the princess tilted her head, a gesture that seemed almost human in its familiarity. "There was a human child who used to play in the crystal caves near the settlement. She had dark hair and brown eyes, and she was never afraid of exploring dangerous places." Emily's heart began to race. Only one other person had known about her secret expeditions into those caves. "Who are you?" The princess reached up and touched a small device at her temple. The air around her shimmered, and her alien features began to shift and change. The luminescent skin faded to a warm tan, her height decreased, and her elongated limbs shortened to human proportions. Within moments, a woman with pointed ears and silver hair stood before Emily, her eyes now a familiar shade of green. "Hello, Em," the woman said, using the childhood nickname that only one person had ever called her. "Lisa," Emily whispered, dropping her rifle as recognition flooded through her. "Lisa Morrison? But you died in the evacuation. The transport ship was destroyed." Lisa shook her head, her expression mixing joy and sorrow. "The ship was attacked, but not destroyed. The Celestial Dominion rescued the survivors, including my family. We were taken to their core worlds and given medical treatment." Emily staggered backward, struggling to process what she was seeing. Her best friend from childhood, the girl, who had shared countless adventures in the forests and caves of New Haven, was standing before her wearing the face of their enemy. "The elves," Emily said, remembering the old stories Lisa used to tell. "You always said you were part elf because of your ears." Lisa smiled sadly. "My grandmother was from one of the old bloodlines. When the celestial healers worked on my injuries from the attack, they awakened something dormant in my genetics. The transformation took years, but it allowed me to survive in their environment." "You're their princess now," Emily said, still reeling from the revelation. "I earned that title through service to their people," Lisa replied. "The Celestial Dominion is not the evil empire your coalition believes it to be. They rescued thousands of human refugees from border worlds that your government abandoned." Emily felt her worldview cracking like fragile glass. "But the war, the attacks on our colonies." Were responses to human expansion into sacred territories? Lisa explained. The coalition never attempted diplomatic contact. They simply claimed worlds and began strip mining operations on sites that held religious significance to the celestial people. The throne room fell silent except for the subtle humming of the crystal walls. Emily looked at her childhood friend, now transformed into something between human and alien, serving as a bridge between two warring civilizations. "Why are you telling me this?" Emily asked. "Because you were always the bravest person I knew," Lisa said, stepping closer. "And because the coalition has finally sent someone I trust to hear the truth." Emily picked up her rifle, not to threaten, but to ground herself in something familiar. "What do you want from me?" "Help me end this war," Lisa said. "The Celestial Dominion is willing to negotiate territorial boundaries and establish trade agreements. They want peace, but they need assurance that humanity will respect their sovereignty. And if I refuse?" Lisa's expression grew grave. "Then this war will escalate until both our species destroy each other. The Celestial Dominion has weapons that could sterilize entire star systems, Emily. They've been holding back, hoping for a peaceful resolution." Emily thought of the millions of soldiers on both sides, the refugees fleeing destroyed worlds, the children growing up knowing only war. She thought of New Haven Colony and all the other worlds caught between two expanding civilizations. "What would you need from me?" she asked. "Return to your superiors with the real story," Lisa said. "Tell them that the Celestial Dominion has human allies willing to vouch for their intentions. Tell them that Princess Lyrelei of the Crystal Court was once Lisa Morrison of New Haven Colony, and she remembers what it means to be human." Emily nodded slowly, understanding the weight of the choice before her. She could return with intelligence about alien weaknesses and military capabilities, or she could become an ambassador for peace between species that had never truly tried to understand each other. "For what it's worth," Emily said, shouldering her rifle, "you always were too smart for your own good." Lisa laughed, the sound exactly as Emily remembered from their childhood. Some things never change. As Emily turned to leave the throne room, she carried with her the hope that two civilizations might yet find a path away from mutual destruction.